Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our latest edition of Serving Up Knowledge. My name's Tom. I'm from the Grande Prairie District Chamber of Commerce, and we are partnered up with the City of Grande Prairie to try and provide some information to business people via other business people. It's quite a thing. We get businesses to share a skill set that they don't mind sharing with other businesses and kind of spread the information and the knowledge around. And it's worked very well. We've had great feedback on our earlier sessions, and the earlier sessions are available on the city's YouTube channel. And Lauren will share that link at some point in the chat box. We do use the chat box for questions. So during the presentation, if something comes to mind, you can type the question in the chat box, and then we'll get to it after the presentation. And we do have some other Serving Up Knowledge events coming up. April 29th, the Yes, We're Open for Business and How to Make Sure Everyone Knows with Argyle. And then on May 4th, we have Psychological First Aid for Businesses and Employers with Alberta Health Services. And that's coming up on May 6th. And we're trying to do these as weekly as possible. We did take a little break here because of the Easter break and that sort of thing. But again, we hope to resume weekly sessions here with Serving Up Knowledge. And we are thrilled this morning to have Image Design join us with us. We're so appreciative that they are here to tell us a little bit more about a wonderful tool that we just learned about this year, and we meaning me, Canva, and how to boost your brand with Canva. So without any further ado, I will welcome Melissa and Tyler to help us out with a little more information about Canva.
Thank you so much, Tom. I want to thank the City of Grande Prairie and Chamber of Commerce as well, and Lauren. She's fabulous in helping us out today. Okay, so I'm going to share. Let's see. Okay, so we would love to connect with you later on. So if you could drop your Instagram handle in the chat, and also this morning, tell us where you are on the dog scale. I would say I'm about an 8 right now. It's wonderful having you here today. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get started. I am Melissa from Image Design. I am your highly caffeinated marketing strategist. I help entrepreneurs get from point A to point B in their business through strategic marketing. And I'm going to introduce you to Tyler.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me, and I'm glad you're all here. My name's Tyler, and I'm a designer and developer, and yeah, anything from design and creative planning, we can make it happen for you and make this process as easy as possible.
Perfect. Okay, so we want to make sure we're all on the same page. If you have never used Canva before, are new to creating social media posts, or are looking to create consistent branding across all your marketing and social media, you are absolutely in the right place today. So why is your branding important? When you first start a business, your family and friends, they might know who you are, they know what you stand for without the need to brand yourself. But once you start needing to market to prospects, you need to let the world know what makes you you. And your branding is how the world is going to understand what you do and why you do it. If there were a way that you could be recognizable, trustworthy, memorable, and consistent, that's something you want to know more about, right? Before we start, what exactly is your brand? And here's a little hint. It's actually not your logo. Your brand is actually decided by your customer. It's how they perceive you. We can influence them on how to view our brand, which we'll talk about very soon. So your logo is like a little post-it note reminder of what experience you're promising to them. And without a brand, your logo is going to be meaningless. So what are the benefits of being recognizable, consistent, and trustworthy? Statistics show that using a signature color can increase your brand recognition by 80%. Consistent presentation of a brand has seen an increased revenue by 33%. And 81% of consumers said they needed to trust the brand to buy from them. So that's what we're going to show you here today in Canva, how having your brand implemented into all of your marketing is really going to prove you to be successful. And over to you, Tyler.
Thank you. So Canva will be your new best friend. What I personally love about it is you can just log right on there and you have all your files. Everything you need is right in one place. So Canva is a free graphic design platform used to easily create visuals without any design experience. So what this means for you is saving money and create some recognizable brand all from your own computer. You can follow along on Canva or watch this later while opening up Canva. I think we'll have the YouTube link posted there. So there is also a Canva mobile app. It's pretty convenient for downloading designs to your phone or posting to social media. But the desktop version, canva.com, is better to edit from. So in order to be consistent, we'll have your brand kit set up. And the brand kit is a paid feature. So if you don't want to pay for it, there's also another solution. You can go into the free trial and see if you like it. At Image Design, as part of our branding services, we'll have the brand kit. We'll have your branding set up, and you can easily import your branding into your brand kit. But today we're going to show you how to do that in Canva. Okay, so first in your brand kit, we're going to establish your colors. Here we have an example page of your branding style guides in a style guide that you already have your brand colors laid out. So just copy the hex code and paste it into your branding kit. Second, we're going to choose your fonts. In a branding style guide, you also receive your list of fonts. We'll have it all laid out for you and examples of what that will look like. You want to keep your headers and subheadings and body copy consistent with the same fonts. This will help clients keep things recognizable, and it also helps you keep things a little bit more cleaner and stay true to your brand. So third, you'll want to upload your logo varieties. I find that you might only need a couple or a few. I mean, depending on what you're using it for. We've got the white version and then just a solid blue. There's only a few that we recommend to go in there. I mean, you don't want to have a full colored logo, on top of like a busy image, let's say. So, I mean, it depends on each post. And over to you, Melissa.
Thanks, Tyler. That was beautiful. Okay. So now that your brand kit is complete, we can start to create your content. Your branding is really your foundation, and we're going to show you how it will really make things a lot easier later on in Canva. So to get started, you're going to see in the top right corner, create a design. And next, you're going to decide which marketing piece you're going to create and select the template. You'll see there's so many templates out there that can make it easy for you. So here we're sorry, not yet. Okay, we're going to show you how to edit your template using your branding. I always recommend changing your Instagram post size, as just a little tip, from 1080 to 1350 pixels. This will take up more of the screen on Instagram, and it helps your customers to be focused on just your post since it takes up so much space. In the templates section, you'll see a variety of post templates. I like to put in the search bar something that I'm intending to do. So I typed in tip, and here you're going to see that I'm going to select the text and go over into styles. And then I'll hit brand kit, and it literally changes everything to my fonts with just one click, which makes it super easy. It's going to make your posts consistent and concise. And then you have your brand colors already in there, so you can easily grab those and apply them to the design. Yeah. And boom, you're done. So we love to, sometimes we forget that we need to set up our branding, but this totally makes sense to save you time and money to do it this way. Okay.
Melissa, can you repeat the dimensions
Sure.
for Instagram, please?
Oh yeah, so for Instagram, here, I think it's showing up again. You're going to resize from, it's usually a 1080 by 1080, that's a square. But by changing it to 1080 by 1350, that is going to give you more of a portrait view, and it takes up more of the screen on Instagram, which is really great. One thing to keep in mind though is that your once it's on your grid feed, so when someone goes to your profile and sees your grid, they're only going to see a square. So I can definitely help some of you out, explain that maybe later on what you'll want to do to make sure that all your information stays within the square. I'll show you that later. Okay, so a really useful tool, I found this really awesome resource. In order to make your sizes correct, this is super handy. They update it all the time for social media. And I believe Tyler is going to drop that link in the chat for you. Okay, so you're using a template and you're not sure what to use for an image. We recommend using only one image in a social media post to keep your content concise and easily readable. We want it to be clean. So this is just an example of what we did, where we make several images into one post. It's called a carousel post. And yeah, it makes it really clean. So that's beneficial. And carousel posts are actually on the rise to get more views. So it's because people are staying on your content longer, right? As they're looking at all of the images in your one post. Okay, so free images are available in Canva, but we highly recommend using your own personal photos. This increases your authenticity, transparency, and relatability. But for more free stock photos, you can go to pexels.com, unsplash.com. If you need to remove the background of your photo and you don't have the paid version, or Photoshop, we recommend using remove.bg. And for consistency in the appearance of your photos, you can download the Lightroom app for free on your phone, and you can use a Lightroom preset to keep the look of your photos consistently the same coloring and feel. And that will help people to easily recognize you as they're scrolling or when they receive some of your marketing materials. So you can find Lightroom presets at 123presets.store. Okay. Using a consistent color background is crucial for easy recognition for your customers. I don't know if you've ever done this where you're scrolling and you see a certain color and you literally pause because you know that that's something you want to read. You recognize that branding, and that's what we want people to do with your content as well. So a few great resources to discover your brand color palette would be canva.com/colors and colormatters.com. And let's see, yeah. This is for everyone who might not have a branding kit already. This will help you understand what your colors mean, get generated color palettes. You can literally take a photo that you grabbed and you're like, this is the vibe of my company that I want it to resonate. And you can put that in there and it will grab the colors from that photo. So it's super handy. And over to you, Tyler.
Awesome. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about fonts. Fonts are pretty cool. So we recommend about having a maximum of 2 to 3 fonts per marketing piece. This makes it a little bit easier to keep things consistent and clear and also recognizable. So like I would make a list of personality traits that you want to be identified of, or like how you want your business to feel. And then we've got a couple of resources here at Font Joy, and that'll also help you discover new fonts, new font pairings, and it gives you examples on that as well. So picking the right fonts can be difficult, but there are resources out there to help you track down the right one.
Okay.
So yeah, let's dive a little bit into organization and folders. We like to keep our folders organized into different post types and content types. This helps stay a little bit more organized and it's faster for future use. I know it can be difficult to keep up with folder maintenance. I'm definitely guilty for that. Once we see me go into the folders here, I go into Instagram stories and then another folder that's labeled templates. So you'll see the video play again here, and it's in all your folders section, Instagram stories, and templates. Okay. So let's move on.
There we go.
Okay, so in this section here, we're just going to show how to create a new design. So you can just click on create new design, and we're going to choose a story just because stories have been super popular lately. And it also gives your fan base just a nice reminder you're still around. In the template section, we're going to search for the vibe we're going for. So I'm going to look for organic shapes. Maybe you want to do like a specialized Mother's Day post. So then go to styles. And there's your brand kit with all your fonts. One click, as Melissa showed earlier. And then also you can do one click for your colors. And if you keep clicking that, it'll just shuffle all your colors so they change. You can see all the leaves going different colors in the background. You get some interesting looks in that. And then also some interesting features. Canva also supports animations. And I'm just going to go through some animations here. There's some work better than others. One thing to note here is the more individual shapes you have on your post, the more animation will be applied to those shapes. So if you have a bunch of shapes that are grouped together, only those shapes will animate like all at once. And the individual shapes will all, see they're all popping at different levels there. I personally really like the tumble one. I think it's a really interesting one. It just kind of tumbles in, I suppose. So that one's pretty awesome. And it also gives a little bit more interactive feel to your fans and your customers. Okay, so let's move on. We've got some tips just to make your content a little bit faster, and just some keyboard shortcuts. We've got Control for Windows and then Command on Mac, and Control Z to undo, Control C Shift to redo, and you've got the plus and minus to zoom in and out. And then also when you're moving shapes around, you can bring them forwards and backwards by using the left and right bracket, and also group shapes. And then I find that when I'm grouping shapes, you can do the exact same thing, move those shapes front and backwards, and it makes things a little bit easier if you're working with more of a complex document, let's say, and you can get that all sorted out.
Perfect. So that is the end of our session. If we have any questions, we'd love to take those now.
I noticed one earlier, and it was from Charlene, and she was wondering if the carousel posts, yeah, we're like posting multiple images. So yeah, it's the exact same thing. You just post multiple images on the Instagram app, and then yeah, you'll be able to swipe through just like a carousel post.
Mm-hmm. We've also found a way to do that on Facebook as well, but it's a little bit tricky. So I'd have to show someone that kind of in person.
There's a question about pricing for accessing paid features. I know we talked about it earlier. If you are a not-for-profit business, you are able to get Canva Pro for free, but there is some pricing available when it comes to the pro features, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, there is. I could definitely, whoever that was can definitely get in touch with us. Here's some of our information. I can show you how to do this without your branding kit, but it's going to take longer, right? So you have to really judge how valuable is my time, and would Canva Pro be worth it to save my time and money to be able to do things with just one click, as opposed to grabbing your colors and bringing them in each time to a post.
Is it worth the money? I find it user friendly. If you do a lot of work creatively, I think it's probably, if you have it in your budget, I think it's probably worth it to look into it, because it does give you a lot more options than the basic. At least I found that after we switched over, but I'm also putting words in your mouth, so go ahead.
And well, we love doing marketing for all our customers, but we also love saving our clients money, right? And if they have the ability to go in and create a letterhead on their own, or make their posts all the time and put their brand out there, because right, the more consistent you are with putting your branding out there, the more often people see you, is going to bring a higher revenue to you. So I would say it's worth it.
Does anyone know if there are templates for Canvas you can find online outside of Canva's pre-made ones? I'm specifically looking for one to help make flyers.
Yes, you can actually find so many templates. Even just a Pinterest search will find you Canva templates for sale, so you can buy them. And we also do custom templates for our customers if they need it. So yeah.
You were going to revisit the question about dimensions and how to make sure the info
Okay,
stays in the square on your grid.
let me see if I can share my screen. Okay. I'm new at sharing my screen, so thank you for being patient. Okay, can you see that?
Yep.
My browser, or no? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to just create a design. I'm going to go in Instagram post. Loading. Okay, so we are going to resize this once it comes up to our 1350. Okay. And what I'm going to do to make sure that all of my elements stay visible on my, oh, that's share, not square. I'm going to grab a square. It's going to pop up there. I'm going to expand it to go all the way to my border. I'm going to position it. Oh, it doesn't like that right now, but it's in the middle, right? So it's centered and it's in the middle of my post. This square right here is what is going to show up on your grid. So you want to make sure that all the information that needs to be visible when someone visits your profile is going to be within this square. Does that make sense for everyone?
Okay, so you don't want it to the top or the bottom, you want it in the middle, but that's where but because you have the 1350, that takes up the entire post.
Right. Okay, so I'll also show you where, let me find one of my posts where this is applicable. I'm gonna grab one of our, okay, so for example, this one that we were promoting what we're doing today. This is a
We definitely saw that one.
So this would be a carousel post, and see how we put the swipe and our logo on the bottom level there, right? So we have our branding consistently on our post. But then when you go to our profile grid, that swipe and the icon is not going to show up there, but that's okay because you're already on our profile, but you're still going to see that content that's in the middle. And it also gives more breathableness to our post by having more on the top and bottom when it's showing up in your news feed. So
Okay, good tip. Question about 123 presets. Is that an app or is that a website or?
that is a website where you would go to purchase your Lightroom presets. And basically how we showed you today with just one click in your Lightroom app, it will adjust your photos. So then you can easily edit your photos, keep consistent coloring across all of your marketing materials. So that's what that is.
How important is it when you're creating, I know I've found this, but when you're creating designs for the different social medias and, you know, to make sure that they show up correctly on each of them, because not every post is a fit for each media. It seems like they're all different.
Oh, so you mean like the dimensions and the sizing?
Yeah, like if you create a post for Instagram, you're not going to be able to use it on LinkedIn or you know vice versa. Like you know, and it also depends on like your headers and that sort of thing. There's a really a lot to keep in mind and watching the dimensions and such.
Yeah, and Canva, all of their templates will have the correct dimensions, but I always, that resource we gave earlier with it's basically a spreadsheet that is consistently updated, makes sure that your designs will be the correct quality, because you know, if you're putting up a LinkedIn banner and it's kind of fuzzy, it's not beneficial to you. So it is crucial, but I find with, like, you know how you can share from Instagram and post it to Facebook. Facebook does have its own sizing, but I find the Instagram post size still does very well on Facebook. So you kind of have to judge things as you go.
Okay. I've seen a lot of animated Facebook posts lately. Are these easy to create in Canva?
Yeah, Tyler, do you want to take this?
Yeah, so you can definitely animate things super easy in Canva. I mean, it's with pretty much one click of a button. Depends on the post. They maybe have custom animations done and then, you know, export it as their own thing. But they can be very easily done. And there's even more options with the Pro account with Canva. And yeah, I mean, it's nice to kind of fiddle around with it almost. Like, let's say you have a post in there, it's ready to go. That's when you kind of go in and select your animation options, and it'll preview what it might look like and show you that. So it's a pretty awesome tool.
Okay, so here's one. Let me find it where we animated it. It's probably not going to show up for me now. Of course. I literally just saw it in here. Okay.
I know there's
I was
some
going to
in
show.
Instagram stories as well.
Yeah. I'm going to scroll. I'm thinking of like the website one we did. Sorry, this is all our designs, so it's a little bit messy. They're not in folders. Okay, I know it's.
We'll blame Tyler for that.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is one that's animated. This is would have been used on Instagram and Facebook as a post, not a story. Okay, so like this animates. It's very, very easy. Literally just took this element that was already in Canva and you just click animate, and if it has that option available, it will show animate, and then you just select which animation you want. And then it's really easy to take something like this. So you already created a post and you want to make it into a story. All you need to do is go to resize, and it will come up. Like, let's say I want to resize it to this. You can copy and resize, which will be crucial if you want to keep your post size, right? And you want to create a different document as a resize. But if I take this, copy and resize, it should take all of that content, and now it took it to story size. So that's easy too for, you always want to recreate your content, right? So if you have a Instagram post, create it into a story, create it into a blog post, so on and so forth.
Hey, can you explain a little bit more about the difference between Instagram stories and Instagram posts?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So Tyler, do you want to explain this?
Yeah. The posts are, things that you might post literally on your page, and it'll stay there for however long until you maybe decide to delete it. But yeah, customers or fans can go to your page and see those posts. Whereas Instagram stories, you can make them. I believe those ones are 1080 by 1920 vertical, and those will only show up for 24 hours. But it's a nice reminder to get your name out there and show people, and that'll be at the top of your Instagram feed usually, and you can see all the accounts on top there. And you can just click on someone's account picture, and your story will be right in there.
But they are different size or different dimensions.
They are.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this one is. And when you have Canva, you don't even need Canva Pro for this. They'll have all of the sizing there for you. So you don't have to worry about, oh, is this the incorrect size? So it'll do all that for you. You don't need to worry.
One thing I found is it depends on the content you have, but when you're resizing stuff, once in a while I'll see my content that's maybe like off the page a little bit. So you got to account for a little bit of error. You might have to resize like certain elements individually, but like generally speaking, that tool works really great.
But you don't have to worry about the square thing with stories, unlike the posts, because the stories don't show up in your grid.
Right.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, I'm learning too.
And if you have something you're creating for an Instagram story already, there is a new feature on Pinterest called Pinterest Stories. So you can take that and put it on the Pinterest platform as well. That might be crucial for someone who has a physical product and you want to link it to your shop online.
What's the biggest challenge, like with so many different apps that out there, that to decide what works for a company as far as promoting? Like you're getting into Canva and you want to put, create these designs, but how many how many apps or platforms does a business need?
I would say you want to definitely protect your mental health as a business owner. You can easily overwhelm, burn out. But if you know how to create something once and then put it on other platforms because it's similar sizing, then you can do it pretty efficiently and you can be on multiple platforms. But I would say start with 1 or 2, get good at that, because that's your branding out there. You're representing yourself and your business. So you want to do it excellent, right? So start small. It's the best way to go.
Advice. Any more questions from the gallery? People are still thinking. Beyond social media, what are some other uses that Canva is helpful for?
Okay, so, well, we created this entire presentation in Canva. There are so many marketing materials out there. You can create a document. Let's see what else I think you can create your email signature. Tyler, what are some things that are on the top of your head?
We've got posters, letterheads,
Yeah.
footers. Man, there's so many things.
There's so many. You guys really just need to go check it out. Scroll through all of the resources that are there because they have them all listed so concisely for you.
Excellent. Any more questions? Question about Google Docs. Is there a Google Docs ability to do that too through Canva?
That's a good question. Can they clarify what they mean by that? Like,
Debbie,
are you
taking... Debbie, if you just want to unmute and maybe just explain what you meant by that, if you're able to.
Just have to get to my unmute button. So I'm a wedding planner and I'm using Google Docs to communicate with my clients. And I'm just wondering about, making those Google Docs look better. Perhaps using Canva. I'm not very tech, so that's where it's at.
I'm thinking what you could do. Yeah, because if you're creating basically like a letterhead, right? Because you're applying your branding probably to the top and the bottom of each page.
Right. Yeah, that would be a good example.
So you could totally grab that from Canva and place it into a Google Doc. I haven't specifically had to do that yet, so I don't have a clear answer for you, but we can definitely connect later and I can walk you through that.
Okay, because I'm thinking about, like, say I'm working on timelines right now for weddings and they look pretty boring and, clinical maybe, and that's not the look I'm going for. So
right. So you could, let me see if you can share. Yeah, you can even create the entire page because there's letter size, right, in Google Doc and in Canva, and then you can share it via your Google Drive, or you could download it as an image. Like, let's say you create the whole image in Canva, download that image and then place it into your Google document. It just wouldn't be editable in your Google document, right? So that's the one thing.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, any more questions? Before we go into the 3, 2, 1 and let you back on with the rest of your day. So again, the video will be posted on the city YouTube page. I'm just going to share that one more time in the chat box. Just got a couple of thank yous in the box, and I think we're all questioned out. So we want to thank Melissa and Tyler and Image Design for joining us today. It's great information, and it's nice to have someone that kind of explains, you know, how to navigate some of that information, and to share that with businesses. We really appreciate that. And our thanks to the city on behalf of the Chamber for being partners in this series for serving up knowledge. We will see you next Thursday for the Yes, We're Open for Business and How to Make Sure Everyone Knows with Argyle. And again on May 6th for the Psychological First Aid for Businesses and Employers with Alberta Health Services. So enjoy the rest of the day watching that snow melt, and have a great weekend. We'll talk to you all soon. Bye, everyone.